Recording is on.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be joining us from. My name is Ekemini Samuel, and I'm an Edustipend ambassador. I'm also a technical writer and a web developer. This is a training that is sponsored or that we are partnering with Edustipend. We are going to be having an introduction to Go programming. We have talked about the basics last week, and if you're on the Telegram channel, you can watch the videos. We have them recorded. In today's class, we're going to be having our mentor Ephraim. He will take you on some concepts in Go from Go routines, channels, concurrency, slices, and structs, and having a project at the end of this class where you build a web scraper which you can upload to your GitHub and add to your portfolio. So let me tell you about Edustipend in a bit. Edustipend is a non-profit organization that supports learning through our monthly program that runs from the 1st to the 8th of every month, where you can apply for a laptop, you can apply for data, or if you have a course you want to learn or a certification you want to get, you can apply. And if you're selected, you'll be part of the beneficiaries for that month. So this training is proudly sponsored by is in partnership, sorry, with Edustipend. Yeah. So without much further ado, I'm gonna be bringing on Ephraim, our mentor, in a minute, so we can begin the class. And also, I'm gonna be sharing an article on our Telegram group which talks about how to learn. I believe before you start learning any skill, you have to get the basics right. I mean, you have to know how to learn, so your effort will be in vain. So after this class, I will share a link to the article on our Telegram channel where you can read and understand how to make the best of this program. Also, you won't stop your journey after this program. This is like a foundation. After this class, you can increase your learning skills. You can take another course online. You could buy books, and you could learn by building. The best way to learn programming, if at any skill, is by practicing it. If you just watch, if you watch the courses or if you just read books without trying to build actual projects, you won't gain much from it. So after this training, you could do more research and try to build your skills in Go. So I'm going to be calling Ephraim to take over from here as we begin today's class. If you have any questions, you could drop it in the chat comment. And besides, this video is going to be on YouTube. So in case you come in late or in case you could not join our live class, you can always watch on our YouTube channel. So Ephraim, are you ready?
Yeah, my man. Yeah, my man. Yeah, my man. I'm with you.
Okay, you could come in now. Welcome, Ephraim. Glad to have you here.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Favor. And it's good to be with every one of you. And we're hoping that we have the best class. So taking cues from last week. Last week we treated a very brief introduction to Golang where we talked about various things. But I just like for us to, get straight into the class, Go style. All right. So I'll be sharing my entire screen. All right. So Favor, can they see my screen? Favor, can they see my screen?
Yes, Ephraim, I can see your screen.
All right. So we're going to be looking at the Go, the Go, Go's website, and probably by now, for those of us that are in the Telegram group, I dropped this link so that we could go through it, everything that Go is all about. You could use Go for your cloud and network services, command line interfaces, and web development. So today we are going to be starting something that we're going to be continuing down the line. So the particular purpose of this Golang masterclass is to build our strength in back end development. So we're going to be building projects that are going to help us build a full-fledged well, something, just something, a web development product at the end. So for today's class, we're going to be understanding how structs work, how all those things come together, how Go routines come together, how concurrency comes together in order to build any product that you want to build using Golang. Okay. So with that, today's lesson is also building a mini web scraper. A mini web scraper. This web scraper, what this web scraper does is that it's when you build it, it scrapes a website's title and writes the title, the output to a file. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, you open up a new instance of VS Code. Probably by now you have VS Code installed. If you haven't installed VS Code, you do this. You just go to VS Code in Google. By the way, I'm using Linux Fedora distro, so don't be worried if my view is different from your view. So if you go to code.visualstudio.com, and because I'm on a Linux distro, it's showing me Debian and RPM. But if you're on Windows, say you go to download. If you're on Windows, you could download for Windows. If you're using a Linux, if you're on a Mac, you do that. So you open a new instance of Golang. Okay, so by now I'm already hoping that you have Golang installed on your system. At this point, you have Golang installed on your system. So what happens is you create a new. For me, I like to keep all my Go projects in one folder. This is how I mean. So for example, if I go to here and I come to go here. Favor, can they still see my screen?
Frame, I can see your screen clearly. We can see it.
Okay, beautiful. So I like to have all my projects in one place. I mean, if you read the Golang, if you check out the documentation, it's always advisable to have your Go structured like this. Your Go folder, you have the bin, the package, and the SRC that contains this github.com, Ephraim, and then this is where all my projects go to. So we're gonna create a new folder, and we could call it script dash but we could call it that. So now we go back to our VS Code and open folder. Go to Go SRC there, and what did we call it? Scriptbot. Okay, so there it is. So open that, and okay, great. So what we're gonna do right now is, yes, I trust the autos obviously. So we're gonna, first things first, okay, when you're building anything with Go, you're gonna have like just like when you're working with HTML and CSS, your directory file is main.go. So we have here main.go. So if you check out the documentation, if you read the documentation, let's go back there. Okay, here. Okay. So we see learn something. So when you want to start view documentation, okay. So there's installing Go and there's getting started. All right. So when you want to get started with Go, after you've created all of these, created all of that, you always start in HTML. You start by having your boilerplate of the head, title, the whole thing, the whole meta tags, your body tags, and all of that. For Go, we have package.main for starting any project. So we have package main. That describes, that's the entry. And then we create the front main, yeah. And we now have that. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is, what are we working with next? If we check here, I don't know, how do I check this? How do I check this? I'm trying to check how we work with structs using Golang, and then all of that, Go routines, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. But okay, let's do this. Let's do this as we go on along the way. We understand what we are doing. So now let's do a simple hello world to check if things are running. Let's check if things are working. So I'm going to open up my terminal, new terminal here, and the first thing I'm going to do, first thing I want to do, yes, first thing I want to do is I have this. What I'm going to do first is go mod in it. What does this do? It makes a project a module. Yeah. So if you want to call this package or this module somewhere in another project, you could easily call it from there. So you do go mod in it, and there it creates a go.mod file, and it says everything about this project, this module that we are working with. All right. There's also another thing that I'd like us to do. So I want a situation whereby everything we're doing in this class, everything we're doing in this class doesn't just end here. I want us to have a portfolio of all these things we are doing. How do I know you can do this? How do I know you can do that? The best way to keep track of all those things is through our GitHub. So I want us to start now, push this project to GitHub. Before we're done, we push what is left. Okay. So we're going to create a new repository, and we're going to call it command script. But let's check if that name is available. Script is available. Good. So a program scripts, a little portion of the website. All right. So okay, we have that. So now what do we want to do? We have these. We have these. Okay. So let's get this started. How do we push this to GitHub and then keep track of what we've been doing so far? Favor, I hope you're with me.
Yes, Ephraim, I'm with you. Yes.
Okay, so we have this at all. Okay, so what does it say? Oh, my bad. We first do what git in it. Sorry, git in it, and we have that. So we could do a git status to check where we are, and you see that's on track. So we can do git add all, and we do git commit -m. We have those double quotes, and we say started project, and we have that. So now we're going to add our repository, or we could first of all do git. I just like to do everything that GitHub says I should do at first. I mean, there's a reason for why they said I should do all of those. So I do that, and I copy this right here. I copy this repository, add it here, and add it settled, and I do git push -u version in. And okay, you have all of that. So you refresh this page right now. Boom, we have those. If we check this main.go, okay, crazy, beautiful thing we have this. So now we can get to work. We can get on the side. So once again, we check git status. The branches, everything is okay, nothing to commit, and blah, 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 blah. So I recommend everyone should do this whenever they want to get started. So we could do FMT. Let's check if things are working. Everything is in order. Print line, and automatically we're using VS Code, and if you have all the right extensions installed, they're called extensions right here. If they're called all the extensions installed, you would have once okay, let's take that back and do Control S. Now it goes away. So what happens is if I do FMT stands for format, is a what do we call it now? Let's check it out. Let's know what it really is. Print line, and it imports the format package for us right there. Package FMT implements formatted IO with functions and angulars to seize, print F, and scan F. So now if you have a right extension installed on VS Code, you can do all of these things. So we do print line, we have the double quotes, and we will now say, let's welcome to the class. Great. So now if we do how we run project in Go, we use the Go run. You could say go run dot, or you could say go run main dot go, either which. And boom, you have welcome to the class. And then to Probably you're trying to, get something like this. If you say name equals to, sorry, as a variable, name equals to, we say Ephraim. All right, so let's try something. Let's say, hey, oh my God, and name. Let's check out something like that. Let's see what we have. We do go running and go, and we say, hey, friend, welcome to the class. So I'm saying we did not have that space. Okay, so we could add a space to, welcome here. And once we do this, say, hey, friend, welcome to the class. So now we can see that everything is running smooth and easy. Favor, did that look nice? Did that look like something interesting?
Yes, Ephraim, I'm fooling you. That's it's fine. That's fine.
Thank you. Okay, so now we can see that things are running just fine. We're getting the right responses from whatever we're doing right now. So we're just going to kick it straight into the class. Okay, so I'm going to try to tweak this a little bit so that we'll be more focused on just my VS Code. So give me like a second. Give me a second, please. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get one. Let me just. All right. Okay. So what can you guys see? Can you see this?
I can see your VS Code.
Is it okay? Does it
Can
look
you
okay?
can you try to expand it? It seems it's not in full screen mode.
How about now? How does it look now?
Okay, yeah, this is better. This is better.
Okay, so let's take this off. When we do Control S, we Control S, everything becomes it goes back to default. All right. So now, what is the first thing to do when we want to build a web script? All right. Does it look all right, Favor?
Yes, yes, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So this is how we do it. We first of all we're gonna first of all try to ping a particular set of websites. We're gonna ping them, and then it returns. It's gonna return to know if these sites are at up or they are down. Okay, so let's create the first function. And the first function we're going to call it func. That's how we create functions in Golang. Func ping. We're going to call it ping. And what does this function take? This function takes in a URL. This URL is a string. Takes in a string. What else does it take? It takes in a weight group. A weight group. Okay, so first of all, let's try to I was thinking about just jumping straight into doing this with concurrency, but let's try to build this without concurrency and see what we have. All right, so we're gonna create please just give me a second right there. Oh, either ways. I mean, it's beautiful either ways to see how this works with or without concurrency. So let's see how weight group, and it takes a pointer to the sync package in this in Golang, and the weight group takes in the weight group, and it takes in a channel. We call it channel. That's how we identify channels in Go, and we have that. So what does this do? It differs once the program starts. What is it going to do? We'd say, okay, weight group, calling this, and we say response. It takes in the response, create a response, and this takes in a response and an error equals to http dot get the URL. So that's a function of that. And then we now check this out. We say if there is no error, if error is not equals to nil, say we make a channel that passes information. We use channels to pass information between Go routines. So we say channel, this is how we identify channel. We say channel, pass it to this channel. This message is going to be passed to this channel, fmt.sprintf. We're going to say, we're going to use this. We say S is down. All right. And we identify the URL that is down or that is, that is threatening us. This shouldn't be inside the quote. It should be out here. URL. Great. And else, of course, there has to be an else. Else, we pass the same message back to this channel. We say empty the sprint f. The difference between sprint f and print line is that sprint f allows us to format variables or to format for example, we wouldn't be able to pass this percent %s that stands for URL if we're using fmt.println. Okay, so we're not going to use this. We still say here if it works, say s is up. Is this particular URL is up and running? Okay, so why is that? It's missing something. What is it missing? Okay, let's keep going and see what happens. So we say the response, so this is done, so we can close that. So it says here missing. What is it missing? What is it missing, people? Oh, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Look at me. What sort of mistake is that? So now we have our ping. We have our ping function, right? And the next thing we're going to do is to create. It's going to create the instance for this function to run. Okay, the instance for this function to run is going to be the next thing we're going to do now. So I'm just going to try and fetch a list of strings. Okay, so in our func main, we're going to have a byte slice that takes in a list of strings. So basically, say URL is equals to also this that is a string, takes in strings, and open it up. And we're going to try and grab a list of just a few strings we could work with, a few URLs. So I'm going to copy it from somewhere else right now. You could type it out. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. All right. So we have that. So after declaring those list of strings, so now we're going to try and ping. We're going to try and ping each and every one of them to check if they are, up and running. We'll check each of them. If they're not running, it's going to say it's running. If it's running, all of that. Okay. So now, right after this, we now say 4. 4 is like we said 4. 4 is a loop statement. When you use 4, you're looping over a list of things you have. So we say 4, URL. We say URL, and it's going to be equals to range URLs. Okay, so look, as we go on, I like to say many times technology is moving, things are advancing, and what I'd like every one of us to take advantage of is every tool we can use, every tool that comes to us, that we should be able to use it as they come. And I'm not even going to lie to you, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, but developers these days are making very, very much use of Chat GPT. So anytime you have an error, anytime you run into a bug and it seems like Stack Overflow is not just doing it, or the colleagues are not just doing it, feel free to dump all of that code into Chat GPT and see what it spins up. So we're going to create a routine here. We're going to say go create this routine, and it's called the function ping. We say it takes in URL in way group, and it takes in the channel. All right. So we're not going to say way group add and say go func your taking your the string. We say this and we say defer when done. Is the function as well. We say rest response error. Say http dot get. What are we getting? The URLs. Each URL that is being when it loops, it gets it to us. So yeah, if error equals to new, then equals to deal with the fmt dot printf. I see this the particular put this is down. Okay, so what exactly is down? Which of them is down? From the fourth statement is going to, as it loops, whenever it loops, it goes, it's gives it to us URL, and we say we return and refer, refer the response of body dot close. Oh my, oh my, this is not a here, sorry, a defer statement. Stop that different. So we're going to do this, and yeah, those options come out close. All right, so what is there now? Function must be invoked in go statement, and this URL is still giving this error. What is with that error? Okay, so give me a second. We are learning and looking at this together. So let's look at this. After the func main, after declaring this, go func URL string, and oh, look at me. Text in final parameter URL. I should solve it. But however, Favor, did you see that? Are you seeing this?
Yes, Ephraim.
Yeah,
That's one thing about programming. The slightest comma, the slightest apostrophe,
the
the slightest
slightest
dash
can mess you up
could cause, yes,
Favor, for
yes.
days. So you take away that command here, and it's gonna be here. All right. So it's still showing red up here. Why is it showing red up here? Oh my, undeclared. That is because that is because it's not being called up here. It's not being called up here, I think. So let's try Control S. Oh my. The weight group, undeclared name. That is strange. What are we not doing in favor? Tell me something. What are we not doing? What is happening here? Why is it showing red? Why are all of these guys just all of a sudden, just giving all these unnecessary errors? Okay, my bad. So we're meant to declare these guys. We're meant to declare these guys. Man, I just keep skipping these things. I'm sorry. So we say make what? We're gonna make channel string. So now the C is okay. We're gonna say var wg. So type sync with group, sync dot with group, and we say wg dot add and length of URLs. Okay. So it seems like we are in the clear. Seems like we're in the clear. So we say now, we say scriptbot. Okay, we now say scriptbot. We are done with you, and we say go run. What do we have? My oh my, nothing, absolutely nothing, no response at all. It runs, I think, and it stops right there. Okay, so now how do we figure this out, guys? So now we're going to check. That is obviously That's obviously going to be an error from so it's meant to be printing out. It's meant to list out everything one after the other. Everything we've been doing is meant to return it back to the terminal. So what is the problem that it hasn't? So we're going to do this now. We're going to say great. So we're going to let's try something now. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Why isn't this running? So do you have the slightest idea why this isn't running?
Check the packages you imported again. Let's be sure you imported the right packages.
Check that. Okay, so now this is what we're gonna do. As part of our debugging, we're gonna take this just to show you how ChatGPT works many times. Take this, Control A. I'm gonna copy all of this right now, and I'm gonna go to a browser. Can you see what is going on?
Yes, I can.
Can you see my browser?
Okay, no, I can't see your browser at the moment. I could see your code editor.
And that's probably because of how I shared my screen. So
But
right now,
it's fine. You could still go on.
okay, okay, great. So I'm getting right now that it's the problem is from our main function. Okay, okay. Wow, thanks for this cooling chat GPT. So what we have is everything is correct, but we're not printing out the message once we are done. And how do we do that? Okay, so taking cues, we say, let me just check this out. Is it anything? Okay, great. Great, just great. Great. So now I think what happens is for everyone, google.com is up. This has something to do with the Go routine. This is probably the Go routine is probably messing this up right now. I do not know why it is doing that. Okay, let's take this out. I'm just gonna do this by myself. How we chat GPT, all right? Okay, we got this. So we're gonna say, go. Hoping it was gonna give us something correct. I could just, prove to us that okay, once in a while you could always count on that chat GPT to help us. But no, we have to do this thing. So we're gonna say this is what we should have done right from the beginning. Once this is done, we close the channel, and when we close the channel, we do this right here, it takes in that parameter right, and we say for the message, we say message equals to change channel empty the print line message. Check that out. Beautiful. Favor, how does that look?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, thank you very much. So if you notice right here, this one thing you want to notice, you run this command, you go run, you do go run dot, and for every time it runs in a different sequence. This one started the first time I ran it, it says Google, Facebook, example, Twitter, GitHub. This one is Google, Facebook, example, Twitter. Okay. But if you notice, it is not the same arrangement with the URLs we have up here. So if we run it again, let's check it again. Okay, this time now Twitter comes last before GitHub. This is because of concurrency. What happens is that when our program pings this website, when our program pings this website, what happens is that automatically it searches it sends requests to all of them at the same time, not one after the other. If this was procedurally, it would have waited for Google to respond, then go to Facebook to respond, then go to Twitter to respond. But this one, because of concurrency, whichever ones that gives a response first, it gives the output to our terminal immediately. All right, full favor. How is that for a starter?
Yes, that is great, Ephraim. That shows firsthand how concurrency makes Go a good language to use for building great applications. Yeah, so right on, Ephraim, right on.
Thank you very much, man. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to look at, we're now going to expand the scope of this project. But just before we do that, guys, just before we do that, okay, I want us to look at this program. Like, I won't feel so good if I did this without showing you guys this without concurrency. I mean, Go's selling point is in concurrency and Go routines capabilities. So I want to just show you guys just how this program would look like without concurrency. Okay. All right. So normally we'll just be doing things. We'll just okay. Let's look at it. Okay, so without concurrency, how is this going to look like? First of all, that's going to start with us probably deleting everything that we have here. I know, right? Just so that we could see a little bit of how concurrency works. All right, so take everything out. I'm going to come back to this in a few seconds. I'm going to come back to all of that, and then we're going to respond and see how all of that works just at a wider scope. At the end of it all, we're going to be able to do something much cooler and something much more interesting. So first of all, we're going to create our package. We're going to name the package. Let's start by saying package. We have the whole red following us. What is that? It is. Okay. That looks so good. I mean, every time I'm developing in Go, it feels so good. Okay, now without concurrency, this is how it's going to look like. It's much more shorter. I trust you, it's far shorter than what we just did. All right. So how are we looking, Favor?
Yes, well, good, but your code editor is not in full screen mode. I could see just a small part of it. So could you
Oh, my
expand
bad.
it?
Okay, so it's much better.
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, so we have this package, we have a package menu reading set up. So how do we do? So without concurrency, we're going to say, we're going to create a function thing. Thing is going to take in just the URL. We're not taking in weight groups, we're not taking in channels, just the URL. String reps takes in, and from the next HTTP package, the next HTTP package, we have this, and we say this is equals to HTTP dot get and URL. All right. We say if error is not equals to nil, fmt the printf, and we say percent, excuse me, percent s, sorry, quote, my bad, percent s is down. Why are you down? Why are you down? We say, say this, and we say URL. We say else fmt.printf, same thing also. So s is up /n. Okay, and we have the URL. It's a close this once it's done. Once this is done, body close this connection to the function. So this is showing red here. The HTTP is showing red because it the HTTP package has not been called up here. The format is not showing. If I take this line out right away, you see that the FMT tool shows red. So many times what you simply do is Control S and it imports all those things automatically. This is the beauty of having these extensions installed on your VS Code. All right. So that is it for the ping function. My bad. And now here again, we're still going to declare those URLs. We're going to take it by slides and get taking this. Okay, and we're going to take in these very few same things we worked with last time. Okay, so we have those URLs. I'm going to create this function again for the URL equals to range URLs. It's a ping. All the functions they ping. Locally as simple as that. Ping URL. And what happens? This looks all good. Our code looks order. We are not having any warnings. There's nothing. Okay. All right. So how are we looking, Fable?
Feeling you, it's all good.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
It's all good, Ephraim. I'm feeling up. It's good.
Okay. So now we say go run, and procedurally it's one after the other. Now, if google.com takes forever to load, it's not going to move until it gets a response from Google. Okay, so we're going to run that again just to show, and we have it like that, one after the other, one after the other. All right, great. So now we've seen the difference between concurrent Go and just Go. Both are amazing languages themselves, and you won't take anything away from them. But many times when you're trying to achieve different processes at once, you will have to think about concurrent Go. Okay, so now we're gonna, as I said earlier, we've seen the difference between concurrent Go and just normal Go. So now we're going to head back and we're going to build the full scope of our project for this class. And the purpose of this, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be expanding more on what we did earlier. We pinged the website, and we're going to be doing more than that. We're going to ping a list of websites, and we're going to scrape the title of those websites, and we are now going to return the output to a file that our program is going to create for every time it runs. All right. All right, so let's get started. Let's clear this, and let's do this. Once again, we declare this package. So this package main. I don't usually like to import all the packages I'll be using at once because I feel like I don't know. So I create the first function, and it's in URL. Same thing we did last time. You could also Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and you'd get the wait group channel. Sorry. This and we say defer. G, and then the variable going down the function. Good. Defer, Ephraim. And this time for response and error. The variable we say http dot get URL. They get this get. There's the controller that's right here, so we get all the information from it. So the get issues a get to the specified URL. So that's a function um, of this get that comes from the HTTP package. And the next thing is once again we check if error is not equal to nil. All right, we're gonna pass a message over to the channel. Okay, we're gonna pass a message over to the channel like that. fmt.sprintf and we say s quote Ephraim quote s is down. It's a new line. That stands for new line actually. We're going to pass this in URL. We say else channel is this fmt sprint f quote as this in is up, and then we give for a new line for something else that follows. Okay, so that is my bad actually. This shouldn't be here. And then we have the response of the body. We're done with that, so we could close that. So now we've created a ping function. Right after that, now we go into the next function, and this function is what is responsible for getting the title of these URLs. So we're going to call this func again. And if you notice, this is concurrent go. I mean, once you see channels, and you see weight groups, just know that it's a setup for concurrent go. Okay, so func gets title, the title, and it takes in a string content, takes in a string, and it returns a string. All right. So we have create variable re regex dot compile. We're passing the parameters for this. Those are the basic tags of these things we are scraping. So it's the title. We pass this in. We say dot everything. Okay, that's everything inside that tag. All right, and we say parts. Also find string match. Find string match. I'm looking for find string match. Okay, there is a find string submatch here, and we're gonna pass in the content. We pass in the content, and we run statement to say if there's anything inside of here. There's anything inside of here. Okay, so we're gonna say len part. Okay, and then it's greater 0. I'm gonna say return. Where do I specify? Else we return to the terminal that the program is running. Title. Okay. And then remember now with ping we get the title and minutes, and as much as we're getting the result on the terminal, the next thing to do is to write this result to a file, and for that we will be looking at favor. I
Yes,
think I'm
Ephraim.
not going to head to share my whole screen right away because I did this. I would like to share my Google Chrome.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. No, not that one. Just give me a second. Let me get this all figured out. Okay, so okay, give me a second here. All right, people. Okay, so can we see this?
Yes, I could see your
Okay.
Google home screen. Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying something about writing to file, and I just wanted to show us how some the bunch of functions that you know. Okay, so let me just say Golang OS dot open file. Okay, just want to go to the okay, great. Okay, let's hope this shows us what we're trying to. So the OS package is a package that allows you to access the operating system functionality here. You can get a bunch of information through the OS package. I mean, you could get the system type, title, system, a lot of stuff. I mean, it's fun to check out the OS package of in it. So I'm trying to look for one that has to do with something we are doing. Let me just check open. Okay, let's check this. Let's have this here. Okay, so the open file is it takes in the file name, it takes in the file name, and it takes in a bunch of other parameters as well. It takes in a bunch of other parameters as well in order to run certain operations that have to do directly with your operating system. Yeah, you could check it out. You could do a bunch of stuff with it, as I said earlier. I mean, those that are into scripting know the power of this package, and it's fun to check out in your spare time. All right. So okay, back to what we're doing, and the next function we're going to create right now is func, and we're going to say write. That now is write to file. It kicks in file name. Therefore, are they with us? Are they with us? Okay.
Yes, Ephraim, you can go on.
Yeah, and then this returns an error. All right. Now this error, okay, not error. Now next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to say F. We're going to say error for error, and we're going to say OS dot open file. All right. So this the name of the file is file name. We're going to be a variable for now. We're going to say OS dot O. I'm going to see the user that shortly. I'm going to say, oh, where is it now? This, say OS dot RWNLY, and it is OS dot O create. Now we want to create a file for every time the program runs. And we're going to say, 0644. All right. So these are the parameters that are needed in order to run this particular function. And as usual, we're going to check as we pass in error here. We need to check. We need to check it every time. So if error equals nil, say return error. So defer there, close. Say if. So we're gonna say if error. This error. Say f dot write to string or write string rather. Say content. The content that we've gotten in here. That content. Okay. And say error not equals to nil. That's the function right there. And say return error. And now we say return you know. Okay, so everything looks in order. So this is unused, very wonderful of Go as usual, unused. Unused. So those are the only errors that we have right now. The next thing now we're going to do is to focus on our main function. I like to keep my main function for the last. Many people like to put the main function. Some people like to put their func main here. Okay, but sorry, up here, and then I have these other ones down here. But I love to have a flow whenever I'm building. So I need to know, okay, this and this is what leads up to this particular point. Okay, so it's a func main as usual. It's a URLs. This time around, we're going to be working with more URLs. Okay, so we're going to say URLs equals to this, and we say we're going to grab a bunch of them. Okay, so I just have them somewhere in my machine. I'm just going to grab them right now. Probably a bunch of sites that you're aware of. Some are even a bunch of my friends' sites. So some of them look familiar, some of them don't. So you could do this. And then what we did before, channel for it. It's a channel make. This is how we like create a channel by make channel and type string. Okay, and the var. Declare this. We last time we kind of forgot this guy, so we try and make sure that we declare it before we get started. So wait up. Okay. Add control Z plan URL. Okay. So now what I want to do right now at this point is to be able to remember our right to file is writing to this file name. Okay. So now we want to create this file name. We want to create this file name, and we want to create the file that this result is going to be written to. So in order to do that, we're going to let's just get ahead and do it right now. Okay, let's just get the whole thing as we go on. So we say timestamp. See this in a while. Timestamp equals to time dot now. And so every time it runs, and the format for this is year. This is year, and year, day, month. Year, month, day. I forget how it goes sometimes. Okay. With the format of the time, hour, second, and millisecond. That is the format for it. And then we say file name here equals to FNT. And we say the file is output underscore txt. So what is this txt? Sorry. What is this %s here for? What value are we passing in there? Okay, so the value we're passing in there actually is the timestamp. Okay. All right, so let's go. We say for URL, going through these URLs. We say copying URL, sorry, GC, and we say weight group, add a weight group to this one. Next thing we now say, we now add a go routine to this function, the go routine that handles these functions. All right, so we say go func. So this is just like any other function, but this time around we're adding a go. Once we add go to it, that shows that this function is a routine. Okay, so it takes in URL string and refer and done. Okay. Move the URL. This is a loop. This is a loop right now. We're in a loop right now. Okay. So it's going to get every URL. This error and continue. Favor, how long has the class been so far? How long have we been here?
Yeah, it's about 50 minutes.
50?
It's not up to 50 so far, but
Okay,
okay.
so I'm
Hold
just
on, hold
trying. I
on,
mean, this class shouldn't be so long, right? It shouldn't be so
hold
long.
on.
I'm sorry, guys. You say?
Yeah, but it's so good if you go on.
Shouldn't be so long. Shouldn't be. Okay. And then there's